Hello and welcome to Never Seen It, a podcast about movies we haven't seen yet. My name is Trent. I'm here with my wife, Betsy.
I'm Betsy.
Hi, Betsy.
Hi, Trent.
We were just doing a little bit of a mic check and
Vocal warm-ups.
we're in a musical mood right now.
But the movie is not musical.
No!
At least to the best of my knowledge.
No, we don't really know. Today, we're going to go with number 3 on our list of our Never Scream It series of movies for 2022. It's The Cabin in the Woods.
It sure is, Trent.
Betsy, this came out in 2012.
Yep.
It came out to, like, a lot of hype. A lot of people really like this movie, but we haven't seen it.
We have not. In 10 years.
10 years, the 10-year anniversary. I imagine it came out around this time.
I looked it up. No, it didn't.
What? Is it one of these that just kind of got shoved out there in like fucking February?
It was like in the spring, I think, yeah.
Who wants to go and see a movie like this in the spring?
Because horror movies come out year-round, Trent.
I guess.
And you never know
right.
what's going to be successful.
Right, you have no idea what's going to hit. And it could be because it hit a production snafu and they maybe wanted it to come out in October, but it just didn't.
Or they just shoved it out there to see what happens.
Or they just needed to get it out there for Q1.
There you go.
A business decision. Anyway, The Cabin in the Woods. Not just Cabin in the Woods. The Cabin in the Woods. What do you know about it?
I know that the writer of this film is Joss Whedon.
One of them, yeah.
I also know Chris Hemsworth is the big star.
Yep.
Which he had done one Thor movie, and I'm assuming
yeah.
this came out before the Avengers, but was probably filmed kind of around the time he was doing Thor. Because otherwise, I don't think there's a world in which he makes this movie.
Because even before this, I mean, he was on the first Star Trek movie remake thing.
He was like
in
a little
the very,
baby role.
very beginning of the movie, and
Yep.
that's it. He was Thor, obviously, in 2011. Did that come out? 2011?
That came out in 2011.
I guess that was number 3 in there because Hulk came out after Iron Man.
Yep.
And then did Iron Man 2 come out after Thor?
So I don't remember the exact order. I think Iron Man 2 had already been released, and then in 2011 you got Captain America and the first Thor movie.
Yeah, that's when they really hit the ground running on that
Yes.
stuff. And then 2012 is when Avengers came out. So anyway, we're way off topic already.
But the point being, he had already entered the Marvel Universe when he made this movie.
Yeah.
But I don't think people were considering him a big star.
Not yet. Because I can't really even tell you what other things he was working on or doing, even when he was a big star. Like, what else has Chris Hemsworth been doing?
Oh, since Thor?
Since this movie came out.
Whatever the hell he wants, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. What other movies have you seen?
I haven't.
Or heard of?
He was in that Ghostbusters movie.
Was he really?
He was in the Lady Ghostbusters.
The Lady Ghost. He was in that new Men in Black movie that bombed.
I forgot about that
with
one.
Tessa Thompson.
He was in that racing movie, Rush.
Yeah.
So he's had some projects and things.
Okay.
But this would be earlier in his career, which is
Sure.
why we haven't really paid attention to it, because we didn't know who he was when this movie came out.
Yeah, and the only reason why we're talking about Chris Hemsworth is because we have no idea who else is in this movie.
No, I don't know any other actors.
He may not even last like 20 minutes in the movie.
Right. I do know one other thing about this movie. There's a cabin in the woods.
Oh.
At least I'm assuming so. Not having seen it yet, the title could be misleading.
Right.
It could be a MacGuffin. It could be a red herring.
According to the poster, it's in the sky.
Yeah.
Not in the woods.
That's right.
But, you know, it's like the clichéest cliche of all time. A bunch of hot friends go out into the woods and they're going to have a party.
Didn't we just watch this movie?
We just did this movie, goddammit. But again, it's that, I mean, cliches and tropes are there for a reason. They work. You just have to have a different spin on things in order for, you know, audiences to keep coming back.
Well, and this is the Joss Whedon take, which is why this is classified horror comedy, because I suspect this is probably gonna be funny in like some really dark way.
I have no idea. Like, you saying comedy, that's completely new to me. I know nothing about this movie.
I only know that because I've heard it, and you just had the movie pulled up on the screen and it said horror, comedy.
Okay, fine.
Plus, it's Joss Whedon. You've seen his stuff before.
Of
You've seen
course.
some of his movies. He's got a very specific kind of humor, and this is just his version of a horror movie.
Okay. And, like, who knows what else is going to be in here? Is it going to be, like, filled with homages to other horror? Is he a big fan of, like, old 70s and 80s horror?
Is this going to be like The Evil Dead, where there's just, like, demons and possession? Is this a haunted house?
Is it just the house that's fucked up?
Are there, creepy shit? Is there creepy shit in the woods?
Yeah.
We don't know, Trent. But
No.
I suspect that a lot of people are going to die.
I think it's a pretty packed cast. Like, there's a lot of people. Like,
there's fodder.
Right. Like, I brought up the IMDb page just a little bit ago to see when this movie came out. It was 2012. And it started auto-playing the little trailer thing that they include on all their pages. And I saw they're in a bus. Like, they're driving a bus to this fucking house.
Oh, so this is like...
It's a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So let's commence the body count. Let's go and watch The Cabin in the Woods. We will be right back. And we are back. That was The Cabin in the Woods, Betsy. What'd you think of that one?
You know, if we did what we did last year, if we had known this would have been our last movie. Because the last movie we did last year was sort of a send-up of the genre. And I did not know that that's what this was going to be.
No.
But this is really clever.
It's super good.
And I really liked it.
Betsy, that was maybe like the best last 20 minutes of a movie I've ever seen.
It's just rip the Band-Aid off and let chaos reign.
Just hell is breaking loose, and it's the best thing.
It's also just packed with jokes. Like, it's
Yeah.
visual gags.
We've been sitting here for the past 10 minutes just looking up the trivia from this movie and all of the things that they just shoved in there. Like, for example, the giant purple people eater is in the menagerie of monsters that were released.
Of course. I don't even know exactly what that would be, but I believe it's there.
You don't know what that is?
I mean, I've heard the song, the One-Eyed, One-Horned Flying Purple People Eater.
Yeah.
But I don't know where it comes from.
Oh God, I used to know. Like, my cousins would sing that song all the time. I just don't remember.
I wonder if it's just one of those, like, childhood rhyme things. Because there's a lot
Or maybe
of that.
there was, like, a cartoon of it somehow.
Maybe, but there's, like, the unicorn and a werewolf and, like, a giant snake and, like, creepy... ballerina girl with an alien face. There's all of that. But then it's just kind of throughout the movie, there's these references to other horror movies, which once it started and I was kind of getting a sense of, oh, okay, I see what they're doing here.
Yeah.
I was looking for it. And we literally talked about it in the introduction. This is a cabin in the woods. We just watched The Evil Dead, which is in a cabin in the woods.
Yep.
And, like, there's a cellar. They're talking about we just need to get them all to go to the cellar.
Yeah.
And the door flies open and it's identical, basically, to Evil Dead.
And we were talking about cliches. This whole movie is a cliche, but it's supposed to be.
Right. It's not so much a cliche. It is a meta send-up of horror movies.
Yeah.
And it's very, like, Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 as far as why this is happening.
Yeah.
So you said it pretty well. This is kind of Westworld meets Hunger Games for the first part. And then everything kind of goes off the rails at the end.
Yeah, I think this is really clever.
It's maybe almost too clever for its own good, but I loved it.
I really enjoyed this one. And again, this is not a traditionally, like, scary movie.
Nope.
I was not expecting this. Like you said, it was a comedy. If I didn't know that, I would think, what the hell are we watching?
Is this supposed to be funny?
Right.
The same thing with Scream. Like I said,
Yeah.
this would have been really good as our end
Yeah.
cap.
But the end cap, I'm going to just spoil right now, is going to be a scary one. I guarantee
so
it.
far from what we know.
So, starting off this movie, this is not what we expected to be introduced to here. We get fucking Bradley Whitford and Richard Jenkins in a suit, in an office.
They look like little NASA astronaut nerds from the
Sure.
1960s.
And this whole office thing looks like the place, the NASA.
It looks like NASA.
Well, it looks like the NASA in Interstellar. It's
Yeah.
below ground.
Yep.
It's like not a lot of people there.
Nope.
Yeah.
There's little scientists in lab coats
Sure.
and people in badges, and they're just getting a cup of coffee, having a conversation.
Talking shop.
Talking shop.
Yeah.
And we're like, what the? Who? What is this? Why
Right.
are these two in this movie?
But then we cut to the movie.
The title, just The Cabin in the Woods, slams on your face.
Yeah, the title card just boom. Like, what the hell is this?
So, of course, right off the bat, you're trying to figure out who the hell are these guys and why is it relevant?
Right.
And you figure out pretty quickly that, okay, this
Yeah.
is not
I
just
figured
a
that out.
weekend.
Yeah, I
in the
figured that out
woods.
pretty quickly. That okay, there's like a mission control here. This is kind of like my first thought was Truman Show.
Yep.
Because there's like a mission control area. We have these watchers trying to pull the strings, so to speak, and trying to do whatever to these people.
Right. So the first question I have, when we are introduced to our 5 young, beautiful people, as we expressed, they're all like in their little dorm rooms or their apartment, whatever it
Sure.
is, and they're meeting up and there's a dude on the roof saying they're on their way.
Mm-hmm.
How exactly are these people chosen? Why are they chosen? How do they know where to go? Like, how far is this elaborate plan? Because there's a lot of like talking, oh, we're gonna use hair dye to get the drugs in.
Right. There's
and
like
we're gonna
there's chemicals in the hair dye that she put to make herself blonde, to make herself like dumb.
well,
Like
no,
to make her into a dumb blonde.
not to dumb her down, to amp up her libido because she needs to be more of a whore.
Well, there's more of that. There's like fucking gas that they're pumping into the cabin
But
too.
yeah, that suggests that they have been working on this group of
Yeah.
people for days or weeks.
Well, they also called it the nest. The dude on the roof said the nest is empty. So like
Well,
maybe they
that's
all
like-
live there.
That's
and-
like one of those like code lingo things
but
that
still,
people use.
they're like growing these people.
You
so
think
to
they're
speak.
growing them?
Maybe not growing them, but they're
grooming them.
grooming them and heavily suggesting that they turn into these archetypes.
Okay, because they get to it pretty quickly when they show up there. The kid, Marty, is like high off his gourd.
Yeah.
And he figures out nobody is acting the way they're supposed to because I
Yeah.
know all of you and this
Right.
is not who you are.
Yeah, he says Kurt is like here. He's in college on an academic scholarship. He's brilliant, but he's acting like a stupid jock.
Yeah, he's-
with his blonde bimbo girlfriend.
He's wearing a Letterman jacket.
right. Like, where does this
Macho
come from?
dude.
Yeah,
And his girlfriend is acting all slutty and like doing a strip tease and making out with stuffed wolves.
yep.
So it gets really weird quickly. Like when they go up the mountain, there's a weird mountain man who's just like, "You're a whore."
Right. Just something directly out of Deliverance, a movie we also just watched.
Yep. I did have that thought. I was like, what is with these creepy mountain people?
That's just one dude, though.
One dude.
But we're getting a little ahead here. But yeah, they're introducing these characters. We've got Dana, the other girl. In this one, there's 2 girls and 3 guys.
Yep.
So it's a little bit of a
But
different
again,
thing.
2 couples and the odd man
2
out.
couples
so
and
I was
the-
like,
yep.
oh, the quippy
The numbers,
sidekick.
the numbers are correct.
The quippy sidekick dude who does not have a girlfriend is
Yeah.
in trouble here.
Yeah. So we got Jules, the blonde. is friends with Dana, and Jules is giving Dana a hard time about apparently she's like crushing on her professor or something.
They had an affair.
They had an affair. So it's not like this innocent crush that she's crushing on him.
No, we establish immediately in the opening scene that this girl is not a virgin.
Right. Then we get Chris Hemsworth walking in with, oh God, Betsy, early on, right away, accent of Chris Hemsworth way out there. I don't know if he's trying to do like a Texas accent or is like some kind of version of a Southern accent.
I didn't get any of that at all. Like, his accent didn't bother me at all.
I think it was...
But this was also early.
It was early on
career.
in his career of doing American movies.
Sure.
Yeah. But it bothered me at first. It didn't really matter because all he's doing is just kind of barking.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be eloquent.
No, he just needs to be Chris Hemsworth and be hot on screen.
Right.
So this other guy, Holden, shows up. He just kind of slides in from somewhere. Where the hell did he come from?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't even remember
it's the
how
guy from Grey's Anatomy.
Whatever. He shows up. He's like slides on screen from somewhere. Oh, he's the one down on the bottom that he throws the football to.
Accidentally.
So like maybe he shows up with Chris Hemsworth. I don't know, but he's there.
Not important.
He's there too. And then we get the stoner guy showing up in his piece of shit car, which, by the way, another thing about horror directors and their cars. The car that the stoner guy shows up to, that was the film director's car from high school.
Of course it was. And I love that right away, this is Marty. They set him up as like a major stoner. He's driving along with a bong that is a coffee thermos.
Betsy.
And when he locks the car, the window is rolled down.
But he also makes sure to pull the handle
check it.
just to make sure it doesn't open.
Yeah.
Because who the fuck would steal a car like that?
And he makes a point of saying the cops aren't going to fuck with the guy smoking a giant bong down the street.
And this bong that he has is the best thing about this movie. From like a prop standpoint, I want one of these.
You not as a bong, weed.
Not as a bong, just as a conversation piece, for God's sake. I looked this up. That thing is a real thing.
They made it for this movie.
It cost $5,000 to make.
That's ridiculous.
And it functions. It folds all the way up. It turns into a thermos. That is a functional thermos.
Who woke up and said,
"Let's make bong.
That. Let's make that."
Joss Whedon.
Or the other guy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing. I love that.
So yeah, we said at the intro it was a bus, but it was actually a Winnebago or something?
Yeah, it was a motorhome.
A motorhome.
Still, yeah.
So yeah, it's still some kind of large vehicle,
and
it's just the five of them.
And yeah, it's just the five of them. We were wrong.
Again, we don't know.
No, I just happened to look at the beginnings of a trailer, and they're off. We get the scene of the guy on the roof saying, "Hey, it's a go," and I think we go back to the office, let's say.
There's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah. Of them trying to sprinkle in hints of what's going to be happening, what's happening in the background. And we get introduced to the new guy, Truman, which I thought was a nice touch.
I didn't even really think about why he was called Truman until just now.
Oh, no, I got that.
Okay, you kept saying that. I was like, why is that relevant or important?
Why did you remember his name was Truman?
Now I understand.
That's why.
But yeah, they set up pretty quickly. Okay, there's some kind of an operation. They're en route. We're going to be taking care of this.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to go.
Right.
Mission control, like you said.
Sure. They're basically getting everything going. The satellite is zeroing in on something. We don't know what.
Yep.
Because we haven't been introduced to the cameras yet.
No.
So yeah, this is where the group comes to the gas station and they meet the hillbilly who calls Jules a whore, and yeah, it's a weird sequence that is meant to kind of make you feel uneasy about this whole trip. But again, it's a cliche, it's a trope of movies like this where there's a creepy guy that you meet alongside the road
with a house full of creepy crap.
Right.
Also, I'd be willing to bet there's some jokes in there, some references to other movies.
Probably.
Because that was some very odd, specific, like, animal jars of just weirdness.
There's a lot of like animal skins and all sorts of other shit.
Yeah,
but.
And he gives them an ominous threat like, you'll have enough gas to get up there, but you won't. Getting back's your own problem.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah, so there's all these warnings, but they go up there anyway because they're young and beautiful and stupid.
Right, so they show up to the cabin. They do the normal thing of looking around. Like the camera turns around to get you a view of what's inside. Dana's in there by herself, and you think, oh, something's going to happen. But then everybody else comes in, and they all pick their rooms, and it's fine.
Yep.
Then we get the sequence of Holden in his room, and he sees the creepy painting on his wall, and he says, I can't deal with this. So he takes it down, and there's a window, let's say.
There's a two-way mirror is what it is.
Well, he sees it as a window, and Dana's on the other side getting undressed because they're all going to go swimming, and so they got to put on their swimsuits.
That's right, get naked!
Yeah, she's starting to get naked, and he's like being all shy. It's like, ooh.
Wrestling with
can't do
his
it.
feelings.
Yeah, so he knocks on the window, and says, no, stop doing that, I can see you. And this is our first hint that, not everything is as it seems. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's just a kind of a creepy thing. So they switcheroo, and they introduce the fact that, Dana thinks that he's attractive.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
he
blah.
starts undressing, and then she's doing the same thing.
Yeah, he starts undressing, so she puts the picture back up and covers it up.
And yeah, then it's just kind of a weekend together. Like, they go out and swim in the lake, and everybody's having fun.
Yeah, again, it's more of the same kind of tropes of these kinds of movies.
They're drinking beer, and they're playing Truth or Dare, and then they're gonna go make out and have sex in the woods. Like, it's just all the stupid things that stupid people do in horror films.
Yeah, and then in this, we also get the cut back to the office where we see there are cameras, and they have to reestablish where each of the individuals are in the room so that they can have the proper things in there.
Yep. So we get to the plot somewhere around this point in the movie, and once it starts, it takes off, and this movie cooks.
Oh, yeah.
Like, this movie doesn't stop.
So the last movie we did, The Evil Dead, was about the same length, and that movie seemed like it kind of dragged a little bit. This movie, like you said, it fucking cooks. It was very quick.
So they show a scene back at the HQ, if you will.
Yep.
Where they're like placing bets, and we don't know what they're betting on or what's going on here, but they kind of say the game is rigged. All we need to do is we set up different. They push buttons to make them go into the cellar. Yeah,
the whole point of their existence here is to choose what their means of demise are.
Right, but we don't know that here yet. Yeah. The only thing HQ is trying to do is to get them to go into the cellar. And when they get into the cellar, it's up to them to basically decide their own destiny. Right. And again, we don't know what that means. It's very abstract. But when they finally do go into the cellar, it is full of like just creepy nonsense.
Right. None of it really makes any sense to anything. But I imagine that, these things are other, like, not quite references, but maybe references to other kinds of movies. Like the diary is straight out of Evil Dead.
Yeah, so this is where I was like, oh my god, it's the Evil Dead again, because she's reading Latin to bring the dead back to life.
And yeah, you cut to outside and you have the zombies rising from their graves.
Right, so that is absolutely calling back to that movie.
Yeah.
But it doesn't last for very long, because everybody in that room is fascinated by something else.
Yeah.
So, like, Chris Hemsworth picks up a conch, and he's about to, like, blow it.
And he also had the ball, like the puzzle ball thing.
Yeah, there's a weird puzzle.
Yeah.
The other girl is putting on a necklace.
Yeah.
One guy is
looking at film.
He's looking at film. Another guy is looking at a little music box with a ballerina in it.
Right.
But it's whoever gets there first.
Right.
And so she reads this diary that's like religious fanatics that are into body mutilation.
Sure.
And that's what we go with. And they rise the dead, and the family is coming to get them.
Yeah, and then, like you said, after they choose what the thing is, well, that's the payoff for the bet. And then we cut over to the office where they have the whiteboard of all the different possibilities that it might have been. And I tell you what, there are some gems on here. There's some references here, some really deep cuts.
It's, again, like all of the horror tropes that you would expect. So, like, werewolves.
And specific references.
Werewolves, zombies, ghosts.
Yeah.
Vampires. Those are all the, like, but then it gets weird, like, unicorn. There was one that just said Kevin. And you had to tell me, you looked this up, what Kevin means. And I should have known this because I just rewatched Sin City.
You literally just watched Sin City.
Like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
There is a character played by Elijah Wood who is like this quiet little maniac. He doesn't speak at all.
Yeah.
He claws people and attacks them with karate moves, and then he eats them. He's a cannibal.
Yeah.
And that's the reference.
His name is Kevin.
His name is Kevin.
Yep. And then there's also the tree or the branches that molest people.
Yep.
That is directly out of Evil Dead.
That is the third movie in a row we have watched something with creepy trees, because there was a creepy tree in Poltergeist too.
That's true. We'll see what the number 4 is going to be. We'll see. But yeah, there's all sorts of different references on there. It was just great.
And this is one of those parts. All of these scenes is where all the humor is coming from, because these people are so matter of fact about what it is they're doing here. It's just another day in the office.
Right. And they're at some point around this time of the movie, they like make passing comments about, you know, you don't want to wake or like anger the ancient ones, or you don't like
the big guy upstairs or downstairs or something.
Whatever it happens to be. Like they're serving another master.
And they say there's like different places around the world, like in Japan,
Right.
they've got a really high record.
Right.
And there's like Stockholm,
They're all kind of
and
failing.
Germany.
They're all kind of failing though.
Yeah, but we don't know still don't know what's going on.
No, we don't know what success is.
Yeah, what is success and what is failure?
Right. And it's like all this same organization, but it's like different branches. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Mm-hmm. But another scene we kind of skipped over. They have the office has a call with the mountain man guy at the gas station, who they call
Mordecai.
Mordecai. What a weird name for a guy like that. But he calls in and he has this, like he's playing a character, but he's not. I don't really get his deal.
He was like spouting weird religious, like culty language.
Right.
Like the whore will burn and the lords will like come down and feast upon her soul.
And they're just making fun of him the entire time.
They put him on speakerphone.
Put him on speaker. Yeah, it's stupid.
He's like, am I on speakerphone? You sons of bitches. So yeah, it's like they're in a weird cult. Like you're getting cult vibes at this point. Like,
yeah, and like everybody's in on it. Everybody's just doing their job. They're going to work every day, and just another day at the office.
Yep. And somewhere around here is when people start dying.
Right. So we are back to the cabin. Everybody's kind of fucked up a little bit. They're all kind of playing their archetypes, because we got the egghead on the couch, who is the academic.
Yep.
He apparently remembers Latin from 10th grade. knows how to read it anyway and speak it. The jock and the whore. These are all the archetypes, of course.
The
I'm not
virgin and
them
the
that.
fool.
The virgin and the fool, yeah. So the other two go out and they're going to go fool around in the woods.
Yep.
And this is where the Hunger Games part of it comes in, where they're like triggering things. He's trying to, get her to take her clothes off, and she says, "No, I'm chilly." So they turn up the heat. She's maybe not all the way into doing it right away, so they release pheromone gas to make him horny. What else do they do? Oh, they like
it's too dark.
They light up like a moonlight place for fucking.
Yep. They're gonna fuck.
Yeah.
In the moonlight.
In the moonlight. So yeah, all the conditions are met, and they start getting down, and then a creepy zombie family member comes to stab her in the hand.
Yep, there's a lot of like stabbing and bear trap slinging.
The bear trap lasso thing was a nice touch.
That's a new one. I
Yep.
can't say I've seen a movie where somebody uses it as like a lasso.
It's not a practical thing, but you know what? It works.
No, I mean, as long as you can get it triggered and to latch the way you need it to.
Yep.
But you know, you're like the undead. I guess you can do that.
You
sort
got a
of
lot
thing.
of time on your hands to figure that out.
Yeah. So I kind of assumed that you were going to be right. Oh shit. Chris Hemsworth is going to die first. Nope,
Right.
the whore dies first. And
Yep.
they explain this all later. But he comes running back and then like the house goes on lockdown. Like they're about to stay together and lock down the whole cabin.
But
they
they have to spray split up juice or split up gas into Chris Hemsworth's face.
No, this is different. I need the horror movie stereotype decision making juice.
Right.
So yeah, at this point I was like, oh my god, they're making fun of other horror movies because this is exactly what happens in these.
Yeah.
You get the jocks and you
Yep.
get the women who are promiscuous and you get the virgin is always the type.
And they always survive.
And they always survive. And it's the thing in Scream that I mentioned, the rules of surviving a horror movie. Don't say I'll be right back. Nobody said that in this, I don't think.
Nope.
But it's also the thing of, let's split up.
Yeah.
He literally says, we have to stay together. Just kidding. We need to split up.
Everybody go to your own rooms, and then they lock them down.
Yep. Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
They're able to just lock them in their rooms, and everybody has a big damn window where all of these zombies can get them each one at a time.
Sure. And then we got Marty just kind of flailing about, and he breaks his lamp, and then he looks inside, and there's a camera. There's a fiber optic camera in there, and he's just telling himself, oh, I'm on a reality TV show.
That was a great touch.
My parents must think I'm such a burnout. And then I was wrong. I said while we were watching it, and then stab right when he says that. But no, he gets grabbed instead and pulled out of the house.
Yeah. And of course, we should have known at this point that he wasn't dead. Spoiler alert, kids. Because he gets dragged out into the woods, but we don't actually see him die. We get all of the signals that it happened. He gets stabbed in the back, he gets dragged, he disappears, and then every time somebody dies, the people at HQ pull this handle that releases blood.
Right. So, like, this is very indicative of these are sacrifices.
Yes.
That they are serving some kind of deity of some kind.
A cult of some sort.
Yep.
Yeah, they mutter weird prayers when they do it, like, let us make this offering to the ones who were here before.
Right. And then for the first one, when the girl dies, they do it, and the blood gets sucked down into wherever. And we thought, okay, are they like collecting this blood somehow? Because it's above them. Are they like collecting this blood somehow from the ground? Like, where is this coming from? And that's not really explained.
I don't think it's actually their blood. I just think it's
not.
some blood.
Yeah.
It's just
it's
more
the
of
sacrificial
it's
blood.
the ritual of it. So
Yeah.
she has to die first, and then this person dies, and every time somebody dies and they have a confirmed kill, as it were, they release this blood.
Right. And then when he quote unquote dies, they pull the thing, the blood goes down, but then there's like an earthquake tremor type of thing. Possibly indicating that the gods are angry because the guy isn't actually dead.
But we don't know that yet.
We don't know that yet.
And there's like little hints from this point that something is amiss.
Yeah.
So when they find the black room and they're down in the basement, they all escape their bedrooms, they go into the basement, and they find this room, and Dana stabs one of the guys. There's kind of, you pointed out, there's an like electrical charge in her hand.
She's like holding on to a tire iron or something.
A knife?
Or no, it was a crowbar.
Well, there was a crowbar, and then there was a big knife.
Was it a knife? Okay.
She stabbed him many times with many apparatuses.
Sure. So yeah, like she was holding one of the weapons, and then it like shocked her hand and she dropped it.
Yeah. And I don't know if that was her or if that was actually Marty, because later we find out that he found the control room and he's been fucking around with stuff.
Maybe.
So like they're all trying to get away and they're about to leave through the tunnel they came through, and the tunnel is supposed to be caved in. They're not supposed to be able to escape. The bridge is out, Trent.
I didn't think about that. So it was Marty who was the one who was fucking around.
Right.
And that caused the stuff to not
there was
be
a
able...
short.
Yeah, okay.
So
okay.
the team that's supposed to blow the bridge kept saying, we never got the order. We don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it
blow
didn't
the
work.
tunnel.
Yeah, we didn't do it yet because we weren't told to.
Yeah.
Well, it's because Marty was fucking around and all the signals got mixed.
That makes sense.
And so it's set up that they were about to escape.
Yeah.
But of course they can't escape.
Yes, Richard Jenkins has to hotwire.
Yep, he hotwires it, it blows up,
Yep.
and they at this point figure out they're not getting out of here.
Uh-huh.
This is all puppets. We're all being puppeteered.
And she even says it. Dana says it.
Yep.
But, of course, early on when they're driving the motorhome to the cabin, we get the Hunger Games moment.
Yep.
Where this is all very controlled. There is like a protective dome over everything. There's a bird that runs into this electrified invisible wall thing.
And you don't show something like that on screen if it's not going to be important later.
Yep. And you also don't have the fucking bike on the back of the motorhome and not use the bike.
So yeah, Kirk is apparently a little bit of a daredevil, and he has a motorbike, and he decides he's going to launch over the ravine.
Yep.
And the whole time I was like, no, he's not.
No, he's not.
Because there's a wall there. I was paying attention. And he ramps himself and goes smack into the wall.
Splat. And then he just keeps on tumbling down, like hitting it every so often.
Oh yeah, and they give you all of this. So you knew that was going to happen because they set it up earlier.
Yeah, they set it up.
The next person dies, Holden, because one of the zombie dudes of the family is
got into the motorhome.
In the motorhome. And when they got into the motorhome to escape, there was like this goo on the door.
Well, yeah, there was like a bloody handprint.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, well, somebody's in the motorhome. So it's not scary. You, the viewer, are supposed to be smarter than these people.
Yeah.
And it's not trying to scare you, it's trying to prove that you are, in fact, smarter than this group of children.
Yeah.
And yeah, he gets stabbed with a scythe through the neck, and they drive off of the cliff and into the lake, and she manages to get away.
Yeah.
And they all at the HQ are having a big fucking party.
Yeah.
Because she's the last one alive. The 4 need to die in that sequence. But the virgin, that's optional.
Yeah.
Like if they die,
the
whatever.
horror movie, it can end with her surviving, or it could end the other way.
It kind of doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Let's just let it play out and see what happens.
Right. So, yeah, they're back at HQ having a good time, but then the red phone rings.
Not the red phone.
And then Bradley Whitford has to go over there and says, shut down the music. I need to do my job now.
Everyone shut up.
Shut up.
And this was a great sequence because, of course, the events in this bubble are still going on, and they have them on the screen.
Yes.
So this whole group of nerdy technicians is drinking and partying and playing music, and in the background, you just see Dana being attacked by this guy in silence, thrown onto the dock and being lifted up, and she's rolling out of the way. So you're kind of dividing your own attention because you're nervous about what's going on back there, but you're also so fascinated by their party.
I was completely watching just the screen.
But it's funny, like, they're all talking about, like, I'm the intern, I don't get overtime.
Right? Just little weird conversations happening.
Another dude is, like, trying to hit on a woman, like, oh, you like the ballet? I happen to have two.
And she
You're
walks
not
away.
But yeah, the phone rings and something has gone wrong. He's like, no, we did it by the book. But they didn't because Marty's still alive.
One of them's still alive.
I kind of figured because, again, at that moment, I was like,
who else would it be?
We didn't see him die on screen.
Yeah, the other guys are super dead.
Yes.
And so is she, because that was her head, Betsy.
Yep.
That was her head.
Yep. And this is, again, the Scream thing where the funny, quippy sidekick is still alive at the end of the movie.
It's true. So, yeah, he shows up and saves the day with his bong.
With his bong. It came in useful.
Uh-huh.
He used that a couple of times.
Uh-huh. So apparently they explain away the fact that he's able to figure all this out by the fact that apparently his weed was like interrupting whatever the chemicals that they were feeding him.
Yeah, he was so stoned by his own supply
Right.
that it was blocking the effects of anything else he was being given.
Sure. Why not?
And he's, of course, naturally paranoid because of the weed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's just like, we're all puppets and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, he finds the grave, or like a grave or some underground bunker.
Yeah.
And that's where he's been hiding out.
Yeah, because they feed all these creatures into this world from underground, much like the West world.
Yep, so this is again where we get to kind of the next phase of the movie. Now we're trying to figure out, like you and I this whole time, we're like, what is this end game? What is happening here? I don't understand yet. I know they're going to tell us, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah, they're going to figure it out eventually.
So he found an elevator and he basically said, those things were fed up from somebody underneath. And I found this panel and he's like futzing around. I can make the elevator move.
Yeah, there's no controls in the elevator, but I can hotwire it again.
We can make it go down.
Yeah.
And their choices are stay here and be,
brutally
chased
murdered
in a horror movie, or go and see what happens down there. And there's this great sequence of them riding the elevator and it keeps stopping. And we get little boxes with all of the different things they could have picked.
Yeah.
If you had picked the necklace, you would get one thing. If you had picked
we get a werewolf.
Yep.
We get, like, the creepy shark face girl. You
get a ghost.
Like a weird ghost thing.
Yep. And then they zoom out and you see, like, this moving, like, puzzle pieces.
Dozens and dozens of these things.
And she figures out they made us choose.
Yeah.
They made us choose because the guy, Fornicus, they don't say his name, but in the credits it is Fornicus, the Lord of Pain or something.
Right.
He's holding an orb.
Yeah, the dude with the blades in his face. Yep. He's holding the puzzle ball that Chris Hemsworth was
almost about to figure out.
Yeah. So they all would have met a different fate that way.
Right.
So yeah, this is where they get into the facility, let's say, and we suddenly hear a voice.
A familiar voice, Trent.
A very familiar voice. And it did not take us both long to recognize who this was.
I think that took 0.2 seconds for both of us to go, that's Sigourney Weaver!
Yep. So that was our surprise star, also in the movie.
Absolutely. And for the time this was made, probably the biggest star in the movie.
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
By far. Because nobody knew who the hell Chris Hemsworth was when the movie was made.
And not to say that Richard Jenkins and Bradley Whitford aren't famous. I would just say at this time, she would be the more famous.
She merited, especially with the audience going to see this movie, by far.
Yeah. And this is, of course, a brilliant choice because, folks, what franchise, what horror movie did Sigourney Weaver make in her younger days?
Gee, I wonder what it was.
Gee, I wonder. So there's another, like, wink and a nod, like, horrible things happening to people trapped in a confined space.
Uh-huh.
But she just kind of gives them the rundown like, hey, guys, you're not supposed to be here. We have to placate the gods and you're supposed to die.
Here's the cliff notes of why we're doing this, and you're going to need to die anyway, so you might as well just get it over with.
Thank you, Director Exposition.
Yes, so they escape into their little, I don't know, why does this box even exist?
Because it's a plot box.
Okay, we got the exposition voice, then we got the plot box with the plot button that they have to press to have all hell break loose, Betsy.
Yes, an army of nightmares needs to be set upon them.
And like I said, this last 20 minutes of the movie is just nutso.
There's so much blood.
There's so much blood, there's so much carnage, and there's so many very unique things that are happening on screen.
It's every villain, every menace, every person who has ever come out of a horror movie. All of those archetypes. This movie is
even,
all about archetypes.
It is. And there's even a few unique ones in here too.
There's killer clowns and werewolves and mermen and like weird Japanese people with creepy masks.
The masks thing, yeah. And just a straight up unicorn.
And
a murdering unicorn.
More like Stabicorn.
Boo.
Boo. So they let them all out, and one by one, they just destroy this facility and everyone in it.
They hit the purge button, and then they just go nuts, start murdering everybody in the facility.
Yep. Giant snakes and giant bats and
right. And they have a
witches.
They have a contingency team to come around and try to neutralize all these creatures, but it does not work.
No, it's carnage.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, gory carnage.
And yeah, as time goes on, it finally gets to the main area where Bradley Whitford and Richard Jenkins and the other woman are, along with Truman. Truman goes out in a blaze of glory.
Blows himself up because he would rather that than be ripped to shred by scarecrows.
Yeah, and you didn't really recognize that actor, Truman.
I recognized him, but I didn't know why.
Yeah, he was in probably 2 or 3 seasons of the TV show The Shield.
Yep.
A show that I've mentioned on this show many times.
That's kind of this whole movie. It was like, oh, it's the girl from House of Cards, the guy from The Shield.
Yeah, Dana was in House of Cards a couple years after this came out.
Yep.
Which, by the way, I mentioned this was in 2012. This actually came out in 2011.
It was certainly recorded in 2011 or previously. It was
something
before
like that.
Thor.
Yeah.
Then I even know Marty from something. I don't know what. I'd have to go and look it up, but I've seen that actor in other things.
Yeah, I don't think I recognize him. But then there was also one more thing. Another show I mentioned a whole lot, she was also in the Twilight movies. I think a couple of them. The girl with the pigtails and no arm. She was in Dead Like Me. She's the little girl in episode 1 of Dead Like Me who gets reaped by the main character. Anyway.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know, she has a really recognizable face.
Which is weird because she was a little girl and now she's like a grown-up.
Yeah.
But she's playing much younger.
Right. She's got that kind of a face.
I suppose.
Some people just look young their entire lives. I hate you.
Yeah, there's a lot of running jokes in this movie too. One of them being Bradley Whitford is really disappointed because he really wanted a merman to be
I want the
cause of their demise.
Right.
And so it's funny when out of the mists, he's laying on the floor and something is coming towards him and it's the merman.
Of course it's the merman.
It's such a great payoff because he's like, ah! Because it's horrible and deformed and it was not at all what he was expecting.
Nope.
But yeah, they all end up in the sub-basement of this facility, which is apparently where this god lives, and Richard Jenkins gets stabbed in the gut. Right. And all he says is, kill him.
Right.
But we don't know what that means.
We don't know who him is. Is it the God thing? Is it the main director? Or is it... I did not think that he was saying, kill your companion.
Even down to the end, he is a loyal cultist.
Yeah. Well, if she doesn't kill him, everybody dies.
And that's what we find out. So the whole point of all of this is it is an elaborate human sacrifice.
Yeah.
They have their archetypes. They need to be killed in order. Mm-hmm. And like they even point out, you're the virgin. And she says, but I'm not a virgin. We work with what we have. We work with
what we have. It's fine. Nobody really knows. Nobody cares.
They feed them all psychotropic drugs to make them act the way they want to.
Right, because...
For show.
Yeah, the people who they picked for this entire thing are not the archetypes. No, clearly. We already established this.
They are not these people.
Right.
So they have to die in this order. And the reason they do this is because they are doing a human sacrifice for these gods.
These ancient ones.
These ancient ones that used to rule the earth. Mm-hmm. But they have made the agreement that as long as they keep getting sacrifices, they will stay put and they will not try to take over again.
And then we get introduced to this artificial timeline. It's like, well, the sun is going to be up in 8 minutes, so you better either off yourself or I don't know.
Either go along with this plan and save the planet.
Right. And then, of course...
That's kind of your plan. Like, save the planet, please.
Right. And Dana, like, points the gun at him like she's going to shoot him to save everybody.
Yep.
Because she can survive. It's okay if she survives, but...
But he has to die at least.
He has to die. But he's not going to go out like that, Betsy.
No, so he lets a werewolf get her, and he has a scuffle with Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, and the gun gets kicked away. They start fighting on the ground. The werewolf is going after Dana, and yeah, it's just kind of a weird ending. But then also the little girl with one arm comes down with an axe. Where'd she get the axe?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Not important.
She comes in there and axes Sigourney Weaver in the head.
And they all fall down.
Yeah, those two get kicked down the hole. Oh, wait, no, he gets the gun and shoots the werewolf away. And Dana's apparently still alive. Bleeding profusely, I'm sure.
Yeah. And then Dana and Marty just light up a joint.
They just light up a joint and wait for the end of the world.
Yeah.
And they just say, you know what? Yeah, humanity. Yeah, enough of that. We need somebody else do it. We need somebody else do it. Just the two of them deciding the fate of almost 7 billion people.
And from where we are at the beginning of this movie, if you had said to me, this movie ends because it's human sacrifice to prevent the end of mankind because the lords of the underworld or whatever are coming to take over the earth again.
At least the one that they showed is the Greek Titan god Kronos comes up from the earth with this giant hand to slap away the camera and go to credits.
Yeah. If you told me that's how this movie ended,
I'd
have been like, I'm sorry?
What?
And I don't know how I feel about it. Like, it's sort of like weirdly brilliant, but also it's so stupid.
You can tell. So this is the other thing that I read about this movie. These two guys, the director and Joss Whedon, locked themselves into a hotel room over a weekend, a long weekend, 3 days it took them to write this script.
Yeah.
3 days. So you can tell that these concepts are not very well fleshed out, but they don't need to be. No. It's all concept.
When you're writing a horror movie, the whole first anything in the cabin minus the the drugs and everything, the outside influences, you could write that very easily. It's the formulaic horror movie.
Yes.
But they're like, that's not good enough. We want it to be a meta horror movie. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have this entire B plot line about these guys who are pulling all the strings.
Yeah.
And of course, this movie was released the same year as Hunger Games. I don't know if you've thought about that.
No.
They both came out in 2012.
All right.
And then, how do you end it? Why are they doing this? You need to give them a reason.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they went all the way and just ended the world.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Hollywood movies, they don't want you to do things like that because sequels. If this was successful, they want to sequelize the fuck out of it. A studio will.
You've got a big up-and-coming director. You've got now a bankable star.
Yeah.
And you want to find a way to milk that cash cow.
All the way. So I like I said, I appreciate the fact that they went there.
I'm going to need to sit with this one for a while because it's just so out there that I'm like, am I satisfied with this ending? I don't know yet. I didn't hate it.
I think it was probably the most satisfying 20 minutes of an ending.
Oh, well, I'm not talking about the 20 minutes leading up to it. Just the actual, this is why we're doing it, and this is what's going to happen if you don't comply.
Okay. I mean, yeah, there are some, tossed off lines that, 8 minutes until sunrise, that's the end of the world.
Well, and usually in a movie like this, when it comes down to this situation, the hero has two courses. They can either do what they say, and, maybe they die, maybe they don't, or they can say, no, damn the man, smash the wheel, and just let the chips fly where they may.
Uh-huh.
And usually in this kind of a movie, because it's a survival story, they're going to say, no, fuck it, I'm going to blow things up and that guy that we're trying to keep from coming back. Maybe he's not such a bad guy, I don't know. I'm processing this. It's the actual act that a Titan is coming to destroy the planet. And this cult of people has been feeding human sacrifices to stop it from happening.
Okay.
Maybe it's just because that's not a plot point I see a lot.
I think that's why I like it. They had the balls to go there and create this scenario by which it could happen.
Yes. That's why I'm saying I'm processing. We just watched this. I don't know yet if I like that or not. I don't know. I didn't dislike this movie overall. I can live with this ending. I think it was funny the way they did it because the two of them are literally just getting high while the world is falling apart.
Yep.
Like, that's funny.
Yeah. She's going to die anyway, and he's not going to get out of here alive, so what the fuck? Kill everyone.
I guess. I don't know. You just don't see a lot of movies where they're like, we're going to kill everyone. And when we say everyone, we mean the entire planet.
Right.
Okay, thanks, bye.
Right.
End of movie, roll the credits.
Cue
the 9 Inch Nails.
Yes. In a lot of IMDb trivia sections, they like to feature the body count of how many people die in this movie. How many people on screen die. And there's a little parenthetical here because it says 69 people die on screen in the movie. Nice. But in the parenthetical, it actually shows 6 point whatever billion people actually die because the world is destroyed.
Yep.
So
if you were looking at those before you saw this movie, you'd be like, what's that now?
What? What happened here? All right. So that's going to be the end of this one. I like this movie. Like you said, I think it would have been a better one to end with, but we had literally, if we knew this, we would not have watched it this time. We would have done our next one first.
We would have switched the order.
Indeed.
We already switched the other two around.
Yeah. So unless we decide we're going to do a fifth one, I have no idea. So anyway, I don't have anything else to say about this one. Betsy, do you have anything else?
I believe I have said what I wanted to say.
All right, then let's kick it to an email. This one comes in from Stephanie about Poltergeist, the first one we covered. From Stephanie, I saw this movie in college. I'm showing my nephew his first actual scary movie tomorrow, and I put this one on the list. He watched all the trailers on my list, and he chose a couple zombie movies. He thought Poltergeist and Alien, quote, looked too old. It does have some good scares in it, but it is not terrifying. Yeah, those two are pretty old.
Yes, I am aware of her nephew, and he's a youngster. He's I don't know his exact age, but he's young enough that for him to have opinions about this being old hurts my feelings.
Well, it's probably just the presentation of it looks old because it doesn't have a lot of bombast, like CG sequences.
Well,
They're
and
going
the
to show
trailers,
action.
some of the trailers are probably like the old school, like on video.
Oh, yeah.
Like bad audio, bad format.
Exactly. Presentation.
Yes.
Back to the email. I have not seen the sequels to Poltergeist, but I do really like the original. I have seen the remake or reboot. It is very similar. It's not shot for shot. It is decent, mostly because of Sam Rockwell.
How did I not know this existed?
Neither did I.
Genuinely.
Yeah.
It's amazing the number of these remakes that happen, and I just kind of forget about them.
Yeah. She says, I used to think these parents and other characters were idiots for not doing more about the weird behavior. Now that I have a 3-year-old, I think it is hard to tell the difference between bizarre and disturbing behavior and bizarre and normal behavior. Kids are fucking weird and ornery and sneaky.
So what you're saying, Stephanie, is that your child could be possessed by Satan or a ghost or something else, and you just be like, meh.
Nah, they're just being weird.
Thursday.
Right. She says, the clown toy is terrifying and it should be killed with fire. That steak scene was disgusting. I think the effects are better than most of this era. Overall, this was a fun one. Love, superfan, Stephanie.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah. I think the effects were low-key enough that they hold up, except for that one scene that we mentioned where all the shit's flying around, and they couldn't resist of doing that 80s special effects stuff.
Yeah. You can't do much about that, and now you can't really change it.
No, but
and
you know what?
4K just makes it look worse.
Right, and you know what? I appreciate that it's there, because then that is an authentic way of looking back to see what the effects used to look like.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think you should ever go back and clean up movies like this.
George
Lucas, I'm talking to you.
I'm so sorry.
Do not go back and do that shit. At the very least, allow the original versions to be available for consumption. All right, that's the end of emails. Betsy, we have one left. At least one left. I haven't decided. Maybe we're going to do one more after Halloween. I haven't decided. We did 5 last year.
We did.
That was just by happenstance. But if you would like to be like our superfan Stephanie and all of our other fans out there, you can write us neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You can also go on to our other social media pages. Twitter is neverseenit_pod. Facebook and Instagram is neverseenitpod1. Comment on our stuff, share our stuff. We would very much appreciate it if you did that. We need to get more people listening to the show. And if you would like to support the show financially, click the link in the podcast description. It'll take you to a page on Anchor where you can throw us $1 a month on there. But that is going to be the end of The Cabin in the Woods. Betsy, I really like this one. I'm very much looking forward to our next one, maybe our last one. I don't know yet. But it's going to be a big one. We promised last year when we were doing our October series of movies last year, we promised we were going to do this movie. Go back and listen to those if you haven't already.
To figure out what
it's going to be. It's going to be a great one.
I hope so.
But this has been another episode of Never Scream It. My name is Trent.
My name is Betsy.
And we'll be back to you next time.
Bye.